What's good, everybody? This your boy Blackout Jones. And first and foremost, I want to say happy Friday. Hope everyone has a great weekend. But let's go ahead and get to it. First off, I'm going to go ahead and talk about Tennessee football fall camp. Probably going to talk about the first 2 days. I'm not going to really get too deep into fall camp. Next time I probably talk about it is when we figure out who the quarterback is going to be. But really after that, if there's something that I do need to talk about during fall camp, I'll come on and I'll talk about it. Also, I do have a Boot Carter update. I want to talk about, what I've seen so far in fall camp from Boot Carter. Really not much, but I'm going to talk about it anyway. Also, I'm going to talk about how, sometimes as fans, we can get a little carried away, me included, in regards to some of these players when, certain things go down in regards to, Boot Carter, Nico Iamaleava, and even other players before the NIL era, where I think us fans kind of get a little bit beside ourselves when it comes to these kids playing college football. Also, who would have ever thought? I know I didn't. I remember saying on a podcast that I didn't believe that we would get the 5-star Salesi Moa, who committed today for the University of Tennessee, with the University of Tennessee. I didn't think we had a shot. I saw the predictor say 94.5%. We were sitting at 1.0%, but that just goes to show you can't always go with what's being predicted. You can't always go. Sometimes when Steve Wilfon says, hey, I got him still predicted to go to Utah. That man chose the University of Tennessee. What a great get by the university. And oh yeah, there's more to come. But anyway, you know what this is. This is just shooting the sports. And before we get to what I always like to say, please follow, subscribe, hit that notification bell. It definitely helps this channel. It definitely helps this algorithm for this channel. And I truly, truly, truly appreciate everyone that has tuned in. With that being said, let's get it. So let's go ahead and get to it. I've been watching the Tennessee Vols Tennessee Vols fall camp highlights, and one thing I have noticed is that everyone looks good. Everybody looks the part. Even your true freshmen from the 2025 class, even they look the part, which tells me that this coaching staff, this recruiting staff has done a great job bringing in this talent to the University of Tennessee. They look phenomenal. Now, right now, we jerseys and shorts, shirts and shorts, with the helmet, the protected helmet. But they look the part. Because sometimes when you put the pads on, sometimes you can't really tell if they look the part. But they look the part. So just imagine when they put the pads on, they definitely gonna look the part. But they look faster, they look stronger, they look hungry, they look like a team that's on a mission. They look like a team that still has that bad taste in their mouth. And I love it. I love every bit of it. Didn't really see too much from the quarterbacks. But I saw, they was going through their progressions. Joey Aguilar, he was making some good throws. There were some that hit the ground. And I remember, even years past, they always preached about you don't want the ball to hit the ground. And that goes with anyone, but especially at the University of Tennessee. You don't want the ball to hit the ground. You want everything to be as precise and as crisp as possible. Well, I saw some balls hit the ground. Now, granted, first couple of days of fall camp, you're going to have that, but you can't make too many more mistakes. Why? Because we don't have enough time for that. August 30th will be here before you know it. So those quarterbacks going to have to figure it out and make plays and make the throws that they need to make. Now, in the midst of, some of the highlights that I did see, I did notice that Boot Carter was on the field with the team. I also noticed that he didn't have a helmet on his head either. Now, I don't know what that means. I don't know if they're trying to prove something to let us know that he is there. You don't really, if that is the case, then that is the case. I really don't care. I'm glad that he is in the building with the Tennessee Volunteers. I'm glad that he's in the building with his brothers. I'm glad he's in there with with the coaching staff and with everyone that that's in that program. So it's a win-win for us. It's a win-win for him as well, because you don't want to really sit out a year and leave a program and think that's just and you don't want to not play ball. So whether he stays a Tennessee Volunteer or whether he transfers at the end of the season, I appreciate him. I appreciate the team willing to bring him back, because as I've heard, there were conversations between the leadership council and the coach, and and how they felt, and they love Boo. They love Boo, but that's with anyone. That's in family. You know, Sometimes in family we have these fights. We argue. We do all these things. And then if you are truly a family, then it's water under the bridge. And we're back being who we are, family, friends, you know. Um, Now, I do want to kind of talk about the fan base, including myself. Now, I know when I first put out the video, and there's other people that have put out videos as well, talking about Boo Carter, there's a lot of people that were in the comments, like good riddance. If he don't want to be here, you know, that's fine. No one's bigger than the power T. And that's true. No one is bigger than the power T at all. No one's bigger than the brand. Now, did he make some mistakes? Yes. Did the leadership council make some mistakes in return? Yes. Us fans, did we make mistakes saying things that we shouldn't have said as grown ass people? We're grown ups. We shouldn't be sitting here in our 30s, in our 40s, in our 50s, in our 60s, in our 70s, PO'd because of what happens at a university, especially here at Tennessee. Granted, you have to look at it like this. What if that was your own son? What if that was your nephew? What if that was your cousin? What if that was just family, period? How would you feel if you were to go on message boards and you will see the things that they're talking about, saying about your family, about your son, about your brother, about your nephew, about your cousin, hell, your best friend? I don't think you will take that too lightly. So you have to understand from Boo's family standpoint, when they see those things, how do you think they're supposed to feel? How do you think? What do you think they're supposed to say or not say when they see those things about their son, about their nephew, about their brother, about their cousin, about their best friend? They're going to take it to heart because you're talking about one of theirs. The same way you would feel if someone was talking about yours. So sometimes as fans, man, we got to pump the brakes. Because understand something. Understand something, and I'll make this very clear. We're not on that team with him. We're not on that team with any of them. So why are we so upset? And why do we get so angry? And I'm one of those. I've done that. Why do we? I would really like to know. When they win championships, we don't get rings. When they get scholarships, we're not in class. Now you can do this. Look, I don't play with the Philadelphia Phillies, but look what I got. Yeah, look what I got. If you want to be a champion, a paper champion, you go buy you one of these. Now it's heavy, and it'll make you think it's a ring, but a real championship ring, but it's not. Man, you can get this for $70. Oh, and by the way, yeah, I'm thinking about getting the Tennessee baseball team national championship ring, and SEC and national championship ring from last year. But that don't make you a champion. But it's something good to have. When they out there putting in the work, I'm we sitting here doing this, talking about it, or at work, or doing something. So we gotta kind of lay off the players, man. And I even me, I had to learn to lay off the players. Yes, I have videos of Nico. Yes, I've said the things I needed to say about Nico. But what it should have been geared towards was who was representing Nico. Now, as far as him not showing up and not letting people know, that's on him. And I would treat that just like I would treat if I had a son, as I would treat my nephew, as I would treat my cousins. If I can't get in touch with you and I ask you to come somewhere and you can't tell me that you just can't come and you just leave me on stuck and you leave me on read and you just ghost me, yeah, we're going to have a problem because I made plans. Just like we had practice and you didn't show up and you didn't let nobody know. Now, that's valid. But to be derogatory and to go at them with some of the worst comments I've seen, you gotta chill. You gotta relax. You're too old for that shit. We're too old for that shit. They're kids. And don't get it messed up. This was going on before NIL. This was going on before they had money. All they had was scholarships. What they say? Two hots in the cot, baby. And go to school for free. Wasn't even getting paid. Now, legally. But that's no here nor there. Unless they got caught. But we know better. We should know better. We should be better than that because understand something. If I was a parent and that was my son or if that was your son and he played for, or she played for the University of Tennessee and you see the fan base saying what they saying about that son and that daughter of yours, would you want them to still be at the University of Tennessee? Because as a Tennessee fan, yes, and others, we love you and we love hard when you play for the Power T. But boy, when we discussed it with you, you would have thought they done murdered somebody. And we got to be better than that. Now, y'all may not agree with me, and that's fine. I can take that on the chin, baby. You know what I mean? But let's pump the brakes. Let's relax. Don't let your emotions get the best of you. Trust me, I've been there and I've had that happen. I've let the emotions get the best of me, no matter what sport it is, when it come to my team. Even when it came to individuals, especially in college. They ain't grown. They still boys. They're still girls. Now, yes, they'll be 21 one day and they're yes 18 and all that stuff, but they're still kids. Yes, they're getting paid now, and I'm pretty sure the emotions are at an all-time high. And I ain't pretty sure. We know that even when they had the money, it's at an all-time high. Why? Because some of us wish we had that money. We wish we were playing a sport that we love and getting paid, if not six figures, seven figures, with endorsement deals. And I think sometimes that's where it comes from. I'm out here working 40 hours a week, 80 hours a week, and I'm only making pennies on the dollar. While this Joe Blow right here, he got it made. And maybe that's why. Because you got it made. And I wasn't able to make it. And you throwing it all away. I get it. I get why you can be upset and be feeling the way you feel. But the derogatory remarks, sometimes racist remarks, gotta chill. Gotta relax. We better than that. We're fucking Tennessee. Let's be that. Anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about the big commitment of the day. Salesi Moa from Utah Hey, I'm gonna tell you something, man. When I looked at the predictor, when I tell you we was at 94.5% and it was Utah, I was like, man, dude ain't coming home. I had the same thought of when Joel Wyatt, even though he pushed his back, he still came home. I thought the same thing. I thought this man is not coming to Tennessee. He's gonna stay out in Utah, and that's the school he's gonna pick. Well, lo and damn behold, that man chose the University of Tennessee. I couldn't be more prouder than that. You get a 5-star. You get a 5-star. You get a 5-star. We got a 5-star. Matter of fact, we got 3 of those things. Spoiler alert, as Paul Heyman would like to say, we got a couple more coming down there too. We might have another 5-star. We may have another 5-star. We may have another 5-star. And we may have another 5-star. Stay tuned. But anyway, Salesi Moa, 6'2" athlete, 190 out of Ogden, Utah, out of Fremont High School. He had offers from Michigan, Utah, Washington, and Michigan State. Now, his brother plays at Michigan State, so that could have been an option. But I loved what he said. He said that he always wanted to play in the SEC, and he always wanted a chance to play Alabama, at Alabama. And he said, I couldn't pass that up. And I also been hearing that Tennessee is open to playing him on both sides of the ball because that's just what he does. Now, he is the number 1 player, athlete out of the state of Utah. According to Greg Biggins, scouting report out of 247 Sports, Moa is among the most versatile athletes in the country and is currently being recruited equally hard on both sides of the ball. At the 7-versus-7 events and camps, 7-on-7 events and camps, will typically work out a wide receiver and has always been extremely tough to cover. A physical player who shows both initial quickness getting off the line and suddenness getting out of his breaks. Can get deep and stretch the field, runs well after the catch and has very strong hands. Showed improved long speed this offseason and clocked at a 10.700 meters in the spring. He's probably going to get faster than that with the right training. Routinely wins jump balls battles over opposing corners and is a physical blocker as well. Shows a ton of range and safety to go with a high level field awareness and instincts. A tough, solid tackler in space and plays with a mean streak. Comes from a family of athletes with 2 older brothers playing at Power 4 football, but is the most gifted with the highest ceiling. Put on 15 pounds of good weight since last season while also improving his speed and overall athleticism. Could legitimately be a 2-way player in college and has the all-around skill set to be an NFL round draft pick. Now, this is his background. Strong gene pool. His father, Ben, played college football at Utah. Legacy there. So that's why I was like, yeah, I don't think he's coming. 2 years with the Miami Dolphins. It was 5-2 in UFC. I didn't know he was a UFC fighter. Wow. And now fights in the BKFC. Bare knuckle. Lord have mercy. So he's about that life. Now, Azia, I think it's Azia Moa, is a redshirt edge rusher at BYU. And Sione Moa signed with Utah State in 19 class before transferring into BYU in 23. Track and field, he's clocked at a personal best 10.74, 100-meter time. Also in football, in 2022, he caught 49 passes for 865 yards, 7 touchdowns in 11 games during his freshman season. 2023, hauled in 56 catches for 820 yards and 11 touchdowns, added 31 tackles, 1 interception on defense. And then in 2024, in 12 games, he caught 58 balls for 800 yards and 10 touchdowns, added 335 yards on punt and kick returns, and 40 tackles and 2 interceptions, both returned for touchdowns from his safety spot. So we got one, everybody. We got one. Oh my God. This 2026 class is becoming a legitimate player, not only in the nation, but in the SEC. Also, according to, CBS Sports, and I want to say there's some other outlets, we have moved into the top 10. We're at number 9. That's a big jump because there were some outlets I saw we was at 16. There were some I saw we were at 12. So we got Savion Hyder coming up. We got Darius Gray coming up. Still trying to see if we can flip Tristan Keys, and some others. See, we're trying to, see if we can try to flip, some other players as well. But right now, this is a great get that I'm shocked and surprised that we were able to get all the way from out from Utah. But that man said, I'm hungry. Tennessee, like every player that has visited Tennessee and has visited the staff and has talked to Coach Heupel and everyone, like Coach G, and Coach Chop, there's always nothing but glowing comments. There's always great rapport, nothing but positive. Everybody's real. And they get to the point, whether you're fit for the University of Tennessee or you're not. There were times where we saw people leave or they didn't choose Tennessee. There was a reason for that. They just got real with them, was like, look, we think you should go here because we don't have nothing here for you. And we're not going to bring you in and feel like, what I'm saying, and just waste your time and waste our time. But this is where we at now, man. We're here. We're here to win championships. It's go time now. It's go time now. Like the coaching staff has been saying about these young players. Can't be young no more. Grown man business. And I love that because then it's going to have other young people, other young high school players. They can be like, you know what? Tennessee play young folks. Tennessee say, hey, it ain't time to be young. It's time to grow up and grow up fast. So how do y'all feel about that? Definitely comment. Let's talk about it. Definitely what I said about the whole booth situation. Definitely about fall camp. And the big commitment today by Salesi Moa. Well, this your boy Blackout Jones. As I said, I appreciate everyone that has watched my channel. I appreciate everyone that has subscribed, that has commented. Hell, even if you haven't subscribed, thank you for tuning in. So with all that being said, you know what I like to say when I talk about my Tennessee Volunteers. Go Big Orange, go Vols.